This is Inside the Wolf's Den, an entrepreneurial journey with Shawn and Joni Wolfswinkle.
Welcome back to Inside the Wolf's Den with your hosts, Shawn and Joni Wolfswinkle. How's it going, Shawn?
Good. I'm excited to record the, or actually play the last episode
of the year.
Yes, that's exciting.
It is exciting.
So I'm ready for 2023, and I'm sure a lot like many of you, but there's still a lot of, I think, uncertainty and nervousness in the market. And so I'm excited to get into this and just give some...
Well, you know what? Despite all that's happened, I think you have to look back and say, like, what are your wins for 2022, right? Mm-hmm. And the fact is that we can't control a lot of things that have happened to us. And what you can learn to do is adapt and change with whatever's going on in the world, right? Mm-hmm. And focus your energy and your mindset. All of that plays a big role into, the next coming year. So refocus yourself and get going.
In charge, right?
Yeah.
So if you didn't listen to it, last week we recorded podcast 137. We went into, more of an in-depth conversation about preparing and assessing and planning for the next year. So if you didn't listen to that, check it out. This is kind of a follow-up podcast to that. So,
right.
Because, you already had to have your plan, your action plan, your what you're going to do next year, your goals and everything outlined. And so now
it's about taking action.
Correct. And it's about doing something. So I know one of the things, as I've mentored and kind of spoken with a lot of people, especially within our organization, some of our staff, one of the things that I notice a lot of people do is like they'll read the books, they'll study, they'll go to seminars, they'll put together their goals and all that, but then they miss the main point, right? Even if you don't have it all figured out. That's probably what we've done well is we just take actions, right?
You're never going to figure it out like at the start. Like that's the thing is get going. It doesn't matter how you get started, where you get started. Just put that foot forward and get going.
Take the baby steps, if anything, but like start taking action towards your goals or where you want to go. Mm-hmm. So nothing's going to happen if you don't do anything. And trust me, life will go by. Whether you do it or not, it's going to still go by, and it's going to go by quicker than you think. And also, there's going to be a lot of like hurdles and obstacles and friction, especially as you try to get going. So all you got to do is start taking action and start moving the needle and start moving towards what you're trying to accomplish. Yeah. But it starts with action. So if it's that might sound generic or you've heard that a million times, but it's the truth. So you might as well like start doing something today. So if this is you're hearing this the last week of 2022, don't wait until the new year. Don't wait until, I'm going to get started. I'm going to go and it's New Year's. I'm going to go eat a bunch of unhealthy things and drink and all that. And then I'll start, January 1st on my diet.
No.
Right? Let's do it now. This is the last week. Let's take some action. Let's make something happen this week. Don't wait until do it now. Because if you're never going to get started, guarantee you next week will be another excuse. You'll probably get sick, after being out in the cold and partying and all that. And so the next week you're going to be like, I'm sick.
I'll wait until next week
to
get started.
I have a cough and I don't feel good, so I won't get started. So start now. And
but then something else will happen the week after. And guess what?
You're 3 months into the new year and you haven't even started your diet or gone to the gym or made, effort. So that's a great point there, because I think that, what is the recipe for success, right? And we might think that, that there's some magic secret sauce to it all, but there really isn't. Right? Everybody knows it, but it's very simple, but it's often very hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
Yeah, and it really comes down to, like, we put in here our notes, like 3 really simple steps to get that ball rolling. And it's consistency, developing new habits, and then creating a lifestyle around those new habits and towards your goals. So it's not anything you haven't heard before, but it's often hard to put into practice. So depending what you're trying to accomplish and obtain for 2023, it starts with consistency. You got to start the ball, start getting going. You don't have to be perfect. The stars don't have to align. You don't need to be given permission, but get started.
But and you just have to start with something small too, and then build on that.
Build on those wins, and appreciate those small little increments. Don't beat yourself up because you went for 30-minute workout and you wanted to an hour was in your goal. At least you got your 30-minute, and you can build upon that and keep going. And so. Some books that I really highly recommend you picking up quickly if you have never read them is Atomic Habits.
Great book.
Yeah, The Power of One More by Ed Mylett, and then High Performance Habits. But those are all books that, again, are going to go into real deep thought and execution on developing new habits and consistency.
The other book I like is, which is another one of Ed Mylett's books, is Max Out. It's one of my other ones too. I think that's a great habit book in there.
Yeah, so it's all about taking action. So this whole podcast today was about just getting you to take some action towards those goals. Hopefully you've already planned and developed everything, but now let's start doing something. Let's not wait till the new year. Let's do it now and take some massive action. So.
And getting in that right mindset to take action. I think that's the first step to all this. You have to. You have to get in that right state of mind, right?
And I something else with that is I also recommend you developing like a vision board, because I think to help you get in that right state of mind and to keep the consistency is you gotta visually every day see what you're trying to accomplish. So whether it's diet or car or business or relationship goals, I think you need to see it visually. So you got to have some kind of board somewhere that you can, and that's just for me. I know
that, that works for you. And I know that every single time you've stated on your vision board what you've wanted, you've accomplished it, because
not quick enough.
It might not be on your time, but it's happened.
Correct.
And it's because you see it every single day.
Yeah.
Right.
And it becomes an obsession, and it becomes like, it's like I want this, whether and I'll make it happen, and people are gonna question you, and you'll get even loved ones that will say, hey, you're a little unbalanced, you're a little crazy,
we've got that a lot.
You're way too intense and too serious, calm down, it's just a goal, and so you'll get people that would try to. And some of them, it's out of true love. They think that's the right thing that you need to hear, and they're just trying to keep you
grounded. But it all comes down to focus, though. Yeah. If you're that focused and that obsessed with something, you're gonna make it happen.
Correct. And all those the friction and the obstacles and all that. If it's that big of an obsession, you'll find a way to plow through it and get and jump over those hurdles, or just break them, or do whatever you got to do to get to that goal. But and then there's also the people too along those lines where they're trying to hold you back because they don't want you to move.
Yeah, they don't want you to succeed.
Yeah, it makes you look bad, and so you also have those same people, other people that may be pulling you back a little bit, and so you got to make some decisions also and take some action there that. Maybe if this person's pulling me back every day, and not wanting me to obtain those goals, maybe they're not the right person I should be associating with or hanging around with.
And I can tell you that you will have a different set of friends, right, than what you had prior. Yeah. Today, our friends are totally different than what they were 10 years ago.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you have to say a lot. You have to say no a lot more. And that's something that you're going to have to be okay with. Right? You might not be able to go partying with your friends anymore or go to family dinners or, birthday parties, because if you're that focused on something, it
won't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any last words of advice for next year before people get going?
I think that the next year, the next couple years, this last 6 months have been kind of tough, right? Yeah. Trying to figure out where the market is headed, what's next. And I think the next couple of years are going to be exciting. Yeah. Right? I think the strong will survive for sure.
Yes.
Right? And I think that you have to be prepared. And there's going to be a lot less competition. So I think it's going to be exciting. So I think that there's a lot to look forward to in 2023 and beyond.
Yeah, there's going to be some companies that you're going to see fail, and some companies that go out of business, and you never want that for anybody. But there's there's a lot of forces against it. There's a lot of forces trying to get the unemployment numbers higher and to cause, to calm inflation. And so there's a lot of forces against us. But at the same time, 2023 is going to be a great year to establish yourself, create those, really get dialed in on everything. And, and if you have, and I think you should be even looking at possibly growing a little bit, getting some more market share. And then you could parlay that into 2024 and really take off and explore. Absolutely. And I think that's what you're hitting towards. And so, just, for us, a big one for us is we're trying to outpace inflation within our companies and our different brands. And so we're really trying to, I would love to hit 15% growth next year. It's a little ambitious. I think it's, it's going to be tough, but even if we can hit like 10% growth, I think we're going to be doing really well. And so, we're really looking at increasing our revenue across all our brands and what we're doing. We're trying to lower our expenses, figuring out where we can tighten the belt and remote team members, helps with that. Using virtual assistants, but also looking for other areas. We may do a company Christmas luncheon instead of a Christmas party, and just little ways that you can tweak, still provide and still give back to your staff and do all that, but, watch the bottom line and watch the expenses. And then increase our margins on the products or services that we provide. So, we've been a little... I feel for all that we've gone through the last 2 years, we probably haven't increased our prices enough across the board. And so we got to look for areas and opportunities to increase our profit and increase our margins. So that's what we're doing internally for next year, but to hit that goal. But I think you need to do something as well, if you're listening to this and try to really grow your business and your brand. And we can also go back to personal, but
absolutely. And again, I want to make a last point of you can't control. There are some things that you can't control, but what you can control is yourself. Don't make excuses of why you can't do it. Figure out a way where you can, right? Because it all comes down to what you can do.
So that's an awesome point. Yeah. To iterate that is you can't control what the Fed's going to do. You can't control the economy. You can't control if we go to war or whatever crazy, world events happen. You can't control if there's another pandemic next year.
Can't control if you get a lawsuit. You can't control any of it.
But you can control what actions you take and what you do day in and day out. And so Joni and I are just here to encourage you. Make 2023 your year. Do something great next year. Don't just let it be another year that passes you by. Make 2023 your year and go out and get it.
Yep.
Make it happen. So
make it happen, and it starts today, guys.
So anyways, hope you have a great new year, and I hope you are taking massive action this week, and I hope you had a great Christmas. And so we wish you all a happy new year and a blessed 2023.
And you said it all. So have a great week, everyone.
You've been listening to Inside the Wolf's Den, an entrepreneurial journey with Shawn and Joni Wolfswinkle. Tons of entrepreneurial podcasts are out there. Talking. But Joni and Shawn are living it every single day. Their portfolio now includes many franchises and medium-sized businesses. We talk about the trials and motivators of successfully running a business. Join us again soon for another podcast. But until then, reach out on the website at InsideTheWolfsDen.com, on Facebook at Inside the Wolf's Den, on Instagram at Inside the Wolf Den. We'll see you again soon. This is Inside the Wolf's Den. We'll see you next time.